Hey guys, Sparkly Holly here for a little video part 2 pick up from where we left off the other day. I just kind of wanted to cover a little bit about continuing of who I am, Sparkly Holly, and some of my gifts and what we do with them, right? So a few years ago, I started getting little nudges from Spirit. I got intuitive little whispers in my ear, per se. And then, you know, things get stronger, and the more you use your intuitive muscle, the stronger it becomes. And the clearer that channel becomes, the clearer your channel becomes. And when I say clear your channel, like my temple, my body, my vessel, for several months now, I've gone pretty close to nothing but fruits and veggies. I love my chocolate, so I still eat chocolate. Little nibbles of dark chocolate, usually in the morning. But beyond that, it's usually fruits and veggies and a ton of water. And I've really genuinely found I feel so good, and I'm clear, I'm sharp, my mind is focused, and my body is usually ready to rock for most days. So I'm grateful for that. And when these gifts came online and I started getting these nudges and I started leaning into my intuition a little bit more and a little bit more, and oh my gosh, I started seeing it unfold. I started seeing everything, and I was like, wow, this is really neat. So some of you have heard, you know, my sparkles, like I call them, they feel like sparklers. They feel like you've set a firework on fire and it's blah, 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 you know, at you. But I feel that like an electric fence on the inside of my legs is where it starts, usually around my calves, and then it will come up to my thighs if it's strong. If it's really like pound and clear message, it will come all the way up to my chest, come to my arms as well. Like it'll feel like an electric fence turning on. It is intense. I can't control it always. I can usually maybe shake it off, but I can't turn it off easily. And it shows up in the middle of the daytime. It shows up, it'll wake me up in the middle of the night sometimes. I'll be having a dream and it'll wake me up with a message and with my sparkles. And it's pretty wild when that happens, but cool nonetheless. So I realized I would get these nudges for people, and I would get little inclinations about, you know, this person needs to be in this location, or, you know, maybe they need to call their kid, or, you know, maybe they need to change jobs. So I would share these little stories, little nudges along the way with people. And, you know, some people take it and they're like, yeah, man, that worked for me. Or, you know, no, I didn't do it. The time wasn't right, blah, 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 blah. And then they usually end up calling me a few months later saying the same sob story again. And I usually end up giving the same advice again, typically with a secondary, he's 80 Mac, typically with a secondary like, yo girl, we done talked about this once. Don't fuck around and find out. Universe don't play like that. So anyways, I have these gifts, I get these little nudges, I get my sparkles, and it's neat. And so I have chosen to share those moments, share that information as best I can to those who are receptive to it. And I set my intention daily, truly daily. I set my intention to align with love and light and unity and harmony, and just I never want to steer somebody wrong. I never want to give bad advice. I want to share my experience, share my intuition. If that's what God is putting on my heart to share, then I will do so with that caveat. You know, and it's simple like that. So I've shared a few times in the past about various interactions of people and their stuff. But yesterday I had one and it was pretty funny. this was a little different of an experience. So I was, I'll actually back up a little bit. I wasn't feeling great. I had actually eaten bread, and like I said, I won't be eating it again. Simple as that. Because I ended up spending most of my day rearranging my insides. And I don't like doing that at all. So I don't recommend it. Anywho, so once I was finally feeling better, yay, and could stand and walk, I was like, I gotta go get some fresh air. And I'm gonna take my little boy for a walk. And so he and I went out, and the minute we walked out, the little neighbor kid is out and she wants to go for a walk too. And I was like, hey, it's fine with me. Like, I'm feeling pretty good. We're just going to walk up to the pavilion, do some crafts, and then we'll be back. 30, 40 minutes at most. No biggie. And so her mama agrees, and we take her and Zeke, and they have a beautiful little time. I shared a little video on it the other day, or this morning, excuse me. And we finished up the craft, and we walked over to like the playground for a minute, and I was pushing the kids on the swing, and it was 4:44. I remember looking at my clock going, okay, I think we need to start getting back. Like, I told Mama that, craft is usually done by 5, so let's go ahead and start walking back. It takes about a half-mile walk back to the RV. And so we get back there, and I take our little neighbor girl back to her house first, and I chat with her mama for a minute, but I notice there's somebody over in my yard. Okay, my husband is home healing from dental surgery, so he's inside laying down sleeping. So I know it's not him out in my yard, so I'm like, what? Okay, let me go find out. So I asked my neighbor real quick. I was like, who is this in my yard? She's like, I don't know. And I was like, okay. I was like, well, are my people out? And she's like, I think some of your kids are out. And I was like, cool, let's go find out what's going on here. So I walk over, and on our picnic table on our campsite, we have shells from our adventures all laid out on the table drying out. And so this apparently had attracted a little boy and his mother to come over and look at the shells and strike up a conversation with my kids that were outside at the time. Cool. But I could tell this lady was needing to talk. Needed something. Wasn't quite sure. It was very like, what brings you over? Like, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but like, you are up in my space right now, so I'm gonna be kind of direct, and so she could tell, and I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm also like, hey lady, awareness, my kids are outside. But also to my kids, had a moment of, when another adult comes on our campsite, go get your daddy, please. Just awareness, all good things. So anywho, I end up chatting with her, and her, bless her heart, she has had a rough little bit, and it was a divine appointment. I can tell you that. It was very much a divine appointment. And to which I say, okay, I put my hands up in the air and I surrender to God's plan in that moment, and I say, this lady is here. She needs some help. I don't know what it is, but I can tell she needs it, okay? And if you know my nonprofit, if you've been following my story at all, help in my book is hearing, embracing, loving, and pointing. So I'm going to hear her story. I'm going to hear what she has to say. I'm going to listen to this woman whom I've just now met, who's sitting on my picnic table looking at all my beautiful seashells. And I hold space for her because she just got down here from North Carolina. Her home in North Carolina was robbed. Her nervous system is fucking shot. She's in shock still. That's what was showing up in my yard. She was repeating her words. Her body language was closed, pulled in. She needed a friend. She needed a hug. She needed somebody in that moment to hear her, embrace her. I actually gave her a hug. I was like, do you need a hug? Would you like a hug? Like, I'm a hugger. And if y'all have ever hugged me, I don't play around with my hugs. Like, I will grab you full force and take every weight off of your shoulders with my hug if I can. And so I offered her a hug, and she took the hug, and we really probably hugged for 3 or 4 minutes. And I just spoke peace and love over her, and affirmations of confidence and like, you are equipped, woman. Like, this is your life. You have everything you need. You're safe. You're loved. You're worthy. You're capable. You've come so far. Now tell me what you're grateful for. And she was immediately able to tell me that she was grateful for her son. She was grateful for her husband. She was grateful to be free from previous abusive relationships. Like, holy crap, y'all. Yes, I'm happy you're free from that too. I am very happy that you are free from that. I'm very grateful for that. That is good. You have come so far. Keep going. And we conversed a little bit more, and she mentioned, she's like, I just don't know what to do. Like, we have the house there now. We have the trailer here. She's, obviously Florida, North Carolina, lots of distance there. And she doesn't want to be separated from her husband with her son. And so, all right, so back for part two. Had to intervene, kids in the pool playing. So anyways, she shares her story with me, and she goes on to express, she's got the house in North Carolina, she's got the RV here in Florida, and just kind of doesn't know what to do, doesn't know if she needs to homeschool. Like, she drops all these bombs on me, and I'm like, girl, like, you so lined up with everything I offer, you don't even know it right now. And like, it's exciting, it's cool. So she shares with me that her husband has an interview coming up with Duke in North Carolina. And I was like, ooh, like, I have some good feelings about that. Like, might be ready for it. I said, all of this bad stuff might have just happened to cut some baggage loose real fast. Sometimes we ignore and we don't pivot fast enough when we're supposed to. And Mama Nature, she jumps in and she helps us sometimes. Like it or not, it is what it is. So when you start reading those codes and you start recognizing those patterns, you'll be able to make your pivots a little bit faster, and you'll bob and weave through life beautifully. Everything in life is happening for you. Everything in life is happening for you. How is it happening for your good? Change the narrative. Yes, sir, it has. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So I tell her, I said, hey, I've got a good feeling about this Duke interview. Hold on to it. You're safe. You're good. She was looking at all my shells. I sent her with a handful of shells. I was like, go take these shells. Go craft your little heart out. She makes epoxy, like, charcuterie boards that are really, really beautiful. She showed me some pictures. And also wine glasses and stuff with shells and epoxy and paint and just beautiful creations. I was like, do you go to markets? She was like, yes. I was like, keep going to markets. Like, you would fit in perfectly in the St. Augustine area. And she was like, oh yes. And I was like, yes. And if your child is, gifted, and she said he was, I was like, there's a community there for you as well. Truly, go. Enjoy that while you have the time. And it's okay. It's okay. So I just wanted to share that. It was just kind of one of those weird little moments. Like, that's just who I am. Those are the divine appointments that I'm here for. Hi, buddy. That God will just put the people in my path when they need the message, when they need help, when they need to be heard and embraced and loved and directed, point blank. You're the solution. Point them to love and light. Point them to the highest and best. It's easy. So
send it to the TV.
Send it to the TV, he says. That's it, y'all. Create a life you don't need a vacation from. Sparkle on and blaze your trail.